Hey, welcome to Runers Episode 5. I'm Rob Knob. It's Eric Leach.
Hello.
We are here, Episode 5. It's 5 episodes. That's like a milestone.
It is.
It's pretty good. Tonight, we're going to talk about 2 different shows. Walking Dead, the newest episode of Walking Dead. Then we're going to get into a little bit of House of Cards.
Yes.
Which we've both seen the whole first season.
Yep.
That was a Netflix original. But first, let's get into Walking Dead. Let me pull up my notes real quick because I was unprepared. Do you want to start off or what?
Sure.
Go for it.
Well, first of all, I thought this was the best episode of the season.
Hands down.
This has been a really good season.
Yeah.
And what was really great was at the very beginning, it does the previously on The Walking Dead, and the first scene was him on the walkie-talkie. So I'm like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
Morgan's coming back. Now, he was in the very first episode, in the pilot episode, which is my favorite episode of the whole series.
Yeah, it's super good.
And he has probably the most heartbreaking scene when he's up and he's got his zombie wife in his sights, and he decides not to shoot her. I mean, you can feel his heart, and that's great acting.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, then he's not in it.
Yep.
I mean, he's Rick's on the hill trying to communicate with Morgan. You just never see him until finally.
And then it drops off, like, completely.
Yeah, it drops off. It's almost like you would forget he's around.
Yeah.
And then he shows up. And so that, to me, helped make this the best episode of the season because he is, after Rick, the best actor that's ever been in the series.
Yeah.
Such a good actor. And every scene that he was in with Rick was just incredible.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Did you know it was him on the rooftop, or did you think it was going to be another way he's going to come into it?
No, I didn't even kind of.
When you saw him up there, because you couldn't recognize his voice.
Yeah.
I think for a couple of reasons, it's been too long.
Yeah.
And, he had the mask on and everything. When I first saw it, I didn't think it was going to be Morgan. I felt like it was going to be someone that we knew, but I didn't know who, and I didn't know what, and I didn't know what. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And then when it came out, it was Morgan. I was like, "Oh crap, yes!"
And me too. I mean, I saw it when he pulled the mask off. Like, yes! I was so happy.
Just a little funny thing about that is he was knocked out an awfully long time for being shot in the ribs.
Yeah, like, he got ripped.
I was watching with the buddy Tad, and I was like, "You don't get knocked out like for that long." He's like, "The only reason he was just like the only reason I would think is if you broke a rib and went into some sort of shock and like."
Or he was faking it, which, I mean, when Rick started talking to him on the bed, he kind of poked his eye.
That's true, he did, yeah.
Got the knife and all that stuff, so it could have been the whole playing possum to try to gain the upper hand. Regardless, it was so good. It was so good.
And Morgan was just a little bit crazy.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I mean, that guy was pretty much gone.
Yeah, and obviously the reason was because he's all alone.
Yeah.
His son turned into a zombie because his wife...
Yep.
And that was such, I mean, him telling the story about his son with his wife and something like, I saw red and I saw red and red. And I mean, I'm just like, put this guy in more freaking episodes.
Yeah.
Or get people of his caliber to be in this show.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
We have to deal with Andrea.
She is an incredible actress.
Well, okay.
Okay, so that's my next question is, I know they left him back in the town.
Yeah.
He was clearing out the town. Which is pretty cool. His little gadgets that he has set up.
Booby traps are awesome.
So cool.
I'm just saying, booby traps are awesome, and that's one of those things where if a zombie apocalypse happened, that's something people would do.
Yeah,
they would make booby traps.
Yeah, definitely. So. I love the whole. It's like classic film. Watch out, the tripwire.
Yeah.
Oh, let's step over it. So I loved it. So I think this episode more than any other episode made it feel like classic zombie flick to me.
Yeah.
We'll get into it in just a little bit. The diner scene with Carl and Michonne. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so good. One more thing I want to touch on with Morgan is, I know they left him there, but I have a feeling he's coming back somehow in the big fight.
I wouldn't be surprised if he came back in the big fight.
He has a bigger part in the book as well. His part in the book was huge.
Yeah, and
when he came back.
So I hope he does.
Oh, me too.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he does show up at a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
And he's just Rex's house.
Because Rick told him they were in a prison.
Yeah.
And he could, I would assume he can make his way.
Sure, and I'm sure he knows where that prison is. I mean, it's, he had the whole city mapped out. He seemed pretty detailed. But it was really good. So
it was intense.
I do hope he comes back at that scene.
One thing I was confused about and felt like maybe it was just a little waste of space was the dude chasing the car. Now, something might come from the pack, his little backpack.
Okay.
But I couldn't put two and two together with that one.
All right, well, I'll read exactly what I wrote.
Okay.
I wrote down crazy opening scene with dude chasing car, which was capped off by picking up the dead man's backpack. And you knew it was the same guy, which illustrates hopelessness, ruthlessness, and survival all rolled into one.
Okay.
So I think there was that. It was a bookend. You know, you see him there where he's running, and they're like, "We're not going to stop. We're not going to pick this guy up. We're on a mission."
Yeah.
And he's hopeless.
Yeah.
He's like, "Wait, come back!" And it's a whole deal. And the ruthlessness of maybe that's a strong word, but Rick and Michonne and Carl, they just were like, "Nope, we're not going to deal with you."
I think ruthless is a good word since Carl picked up the bag.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Hopped out of the car and he got it.
And survival, you know. I mean, so I think you're talking about the themes that make this show kind of work, you know. Human nature. It really at the core, one of the core things of this show is how far do humans go? And it illustrates human nature in an extreme fictitious way, you know, so
I was comparing the show and the book as far as Rick goes and how standoffish he is. In the book, he was always pretty open about letting new people in and meeting the new people, and he was towards the end of the second volume, the big book.
Yeah.
He was a little more when they met that new guy. But not as much as he is in the show, and I kind of think I like it more in the show because too much at once will ruin the show.
Yeah.
So he has his sights set on Governor. He's not going to let anyone else get in the way or bring anyone else in. Tyrese is gone. I did love the fact that we didn't see pretty much anyone else other than Carl, Rick, and Michonne.
That's it.
And Morgan. Yeah.
I mentioned to you off air, but wouldn't it be cool if they ever do this? Morgan being such a strong character, of him doing an episode of his own, you know, and he could carry an episode. He can carry half a friggin' season for all I care. But
it'd be cool if it was like a mini web series, 5 episodes or something like that.
That's even better.
Like after Rick leaves.
Yeah.
Then it's just Morgan. He kind of does his whole thing.
Did you see the Walking Dead web series they did?
I saw the first.
It wasn't. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the acting left a little to something to be desired, but it was a pretty good little web series. So.
Yeah. Very cool. All right.
So that was it. But yeah, the diner scene.
Yeah.
So
Let's
well
get
done.
into the diner scene.
So well done.
I love the fact that they're using the rats now, or they used it in the episode.
Yep.
And that part where Carl's walking back and the rat comes around the corner.
Yep.
Oh man, my heart stopped almost.
Total. Okay, you mentioned earlier about the classic zombie stuff. When they push the skateboards in, the diner's empty. They push the skateboards with the rats in.
Yeah.
Zombies appear out of nowhere. I'm like, that was cool.
one point on the Talking Dead. I don't think you don't watch Talking Dead. Okay, so they were talking about should the zombies have been sitting dormant, basically, like they weren't moving while they were in there.
Yeah.
Or should they have been kind of roaming around, kind of classic zombie. I like the fact that The Walking Dead is focused so much on the fact that these zombies are constantly deteriorating.
Yeah.
And maybe they would have just sat there.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to feed on.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden the hint of blood comes and they just snap out of it, wake up.
They freak out, and I think that it lends to the fear of it, because that was actually, it was kind of a scary scene.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, 27 zombies just
One thing that I thought was weird though was when Michonne wanted to go back in to get the picture. She said, "Carl, wait." He was like, "Fine." Leans against the door. She walks around the corner and then just comes right back.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a weird edit to me.
Yeah.
I've been noticing a lot of time signatures like that are not so great, and so that one was just a continuity thing for me where it was just like, okay, that was really fast.
It would have been cool if it would have been Carl just out there and all you hear is her just slicing.
Yeah, and blood splatter on the windows.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it is what it is. But I really liked the picture. I loved that little storyline.
Yeah.
Was emotional and intense. Like, that whole scene was amazing. The chemistry between Carl and Michonne was so, like, he didn't want her help, but she was saying, like, look, I'm not going to stop you, but I have to help you. But I want to help you.
And, and she's becoming more, like, she's starting to get in touch with her heart again. She's becoming more human instead of this cold, heartless. But she needs to be cold and heartless.
Well, yeah.
And yet, now she's starting to connect on that emotional level.
Yeah, and my last point about this one was she's becoming part of the group.
Yeah.
So I think she's getting that family feeling again, whatever's left of it in the world they live in.
Right.
Because there can't be much family in there.
No, man.
But have you been going back and watching the episodes in black and white?
No, you know what? I heard about it.
Yeah.
Or I think I told you about it or whatever, and I just haven't, but I want to. I just haven't had time.
Really cool. I want to wait till they're all out and then get them from my online source and watch them all at once. All right, one last Walking Dead thing. Let's get into a couple of theories. Do you have any theories about the next episode? I have just a few.
No,
I basically have one.
Okay, well, give me. I don't have any theories.
And I mentioned it to you, and you mentioned a good point.
Okay.
I said when Rick is in front of the governor reaches for something on the table. Mm-hmm. I was saying that's where Rick, spoiler alert, is going to get his hand cut off.
Yep. That happens in the comics.
Yeah, that happens in the comics. You mentioned that since Merle has his hand cut off, maybe they wouldn't do the dual hand thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with Rick. It's such a huge. It's almost as a big of a part of the book as the prison is to me.
Okay.
So I definitely want to see that happen. I think that's going to be the time we see it happen.
Yeah, and I think I'd mentioned to you off air that if that does happen, he's gonna have to rely on other people more because he's very like this. I'm Rick and I'm the boss.
Yeah.
Well, he loses a hand. He's not gonna be able to open ketchup bottles, and he's not gonna be able to button his shirt, and all that stuff. I know it sounds ridiculous, but he's gonna need help.
Yep.
And so, yeah. I mean,
how many episodes are left? Do you know?
Yeah, it's a 16 episode series, and I think that was episode 11.
So there's Mike in the background saying it's 13.
All right.
He says there's 3.
Okay. Well, there's 16 total episodes.
Google it. I don't know.
Googleize it.
All right. Let's talk about House of Cards.
Yep. Let's go.
Such a good series. Netflix original. The first original series on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Isn't it?
I first or second, but this was pushed.
Second?
Yeah, this was pushed
off camera telling us.
That's all right. This was pushed huge. It was promoted very well by Netflix.
Well, what an awesome cast as well. Like even if it wasn't promoted, just the fact that Kevin Spacey alone was in it, it's huge.
I'm watching it. If Kevin Spacey's in it, I'm watching it.
I love it. He's so good. So there was 12 episodes, and what I liked about Netflix doing it and having it be a Netflix original is when you watch a show on Netflix from TV, you're still only getting that like 30-minute episode, even if it's or a 45-minute, even if it's an hour. This one, you had an hour episode, and it was like an hour episode.
It's an hour,
or hour and 15 minutes or whatever, because there was no commercial cut out. It was just straight.
Yeah,
which I loved that.
Yeah.
I found myself sitting in front of the TV like, how long is this going? Like, this is awesome, though.
Totally.
And so, definitely one of those shows where I could watch a few, 3 episodes, 4 episodes in a row, and then I just, don't know what time it is. I'm like, is it dark yet?
I've lost all track of my life.
So go ahead and rate the whole series on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd easily give it a 9.
Okay, same with me. I was going to say 9.
Breaking Bad's a 10.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 9. Yeah. So, well acted, solid story. It really, that whole, the Washington, D.C. underbelly, you've got dirty politics, you've got just the what's the, shoot, I'm drawing a blank in terms. I know, I'm going to pass out here. But you've got conspiracies, you've got bribery. All the shady stuff of politics. It comes in. You've got the press that's working with the congressman and how Kevin Spacey's character, Congressman Underwood, he's like a puppet master.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it's very. This is going to sound kind of weird and geeky English teacher geeky, but it's a very Shakespearean play.
Okay.
Where you've got a lot of characters, but you got good guys, you got bad guys, and you got a lot of people that are just being manipulated.
You have one master manipulator.
Yeah, and I mean,
well, you have many, but you have one master.
But Kevin Spacey is cast perfect.
Perfect accent.
Everything.
Perfect attitude. Everything is
everything about it, and his wife Claire, who's Robin Wright.
Yep.
Also cast perfect.
Yep.
I mean, and
so she was in.
She was Princess Buttercup in The Princess Bride.
Yes, that's right.
Back in the day.
Yep. Kate Mara, who plays Zoe Barnes, who is the sister of Rooney Mara, who is in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Social Network.
Right.
Great actress.
Yeah.
Really good. The reporter.
The girlfriend, the aide of the congressman who winds up dying.
Yep.
All that. She was in Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, she was.
And so
main character.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there are recognizable actors and stuff in this.
Yeah.
But great story. Highly recommend.
Oh, big time. I mean, it's. I think a lot of people might get turned off by the political side of it, but it's not like left wing, right wing. It's like this is what happens behind closed doors. Politics.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a caricature of what happens in Washington, but again, you're talking about the humanity, the human nature is really what it is. It's a study of human nature, and it's done very well.
Takes a little bit of a weird twist.
Oh,
episode 8.
Yeah,
doesn't really reference it before or after, but it was so I don't.
But I mean, it's referencing. It's talking. I know what you're talking about. It's really talking about Kevin Spacey's past and all that, and it's building who his character is.
Yeah, definitely.
But I texted you when I saw him. Like, it gets a little weird.
I'm like, I'll get there. I'll let you know.
And then you watch. You're like, I need to take a shower. That's kind of gross.
Okay, that's weird.
But there's drugs. There's a couple of sex scenes.
Yeah.
Nothing real.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing real crazy.
Not as crazy as like Spartacus or anything like that.
Yeah. It's just, but it's. Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Okay.
And I don't know, did you get a chance to find out when they're going to do season 2?
Season 2, no.
They may have not even started filming it yet, but
yeah, I don't know.
But they did order it.
They did
order a season 2.
And another thing that I love and even Kevin Spacey's quoted on saying like this is the future of TV is releasing a whole season at once.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is, at first I was kind of like, and I was reading a couple things about the Netflix deal and how they're releasing all stuff, and people were saying like there's something about waiting the week to see the next episode. But I'm like, this is the future. This is now. Like this is what it's gonna be like. And after this, and I mean, it's getting awesome ratings.
Yeah,
people are loving it. This has to be the future.
You
know what I mean?
No, I agree. I do like, because I've watched a lot of series like that.
Yeah, so
where it's like, okay, it's all on a Netflix or an online source or whatever, and you just
many of them.
Just boom, you just watch the whole season as it is.
My wife and I sat down and watched the first 3 seasons of Sons of Anarchy to catch up.
Yeah.
In 4 days.
Yeah.
I mean, we were zombies then.
Sure. And I think that really was I think how that started was DVD series. Yeah. Like set series where you can go down and you can rent them, or back when not Redbox. What was the one before Redbox?
Blockbuster.
No, crap. Well, Netflix. Netflix, when you can get your.
Oh yeah.
When you can get your
Netflix, the thing we're talking about.
You can get your DVDs sent to you.
Yeah.
We would. My wife and I had the pass where you can get 2 at a time.
Yeah.
And we did 24.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. There you go.
And so I mean that was you pop in and watch a couple episodes, turn off. A couple nights later, watch a couple more episodes, and so I think that they probably have picked up on that. Here, let's just release the whole series.
Yep.
And it's like you said, I want to watch an episode. I want to watch 2 episodes. I want to, I mean,
because it also gives a user from experience the freedom to say I'm just gonna wait and watch this later.
Sure.
I'm gonna pick up where I left off because Netflix will save your spot.
Yeah.
Actually, just not to get into too much about Netflix, what I love is it'll rewind it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all about the little things.
It's the little things.
But anyway,
man.
The show's awesome.
What would you give it? I didn't ask you what you would.
I'd give it a 9.
Cool.
I mean, solely based on the acting and the story. It's just Aaron Sorkin wrote it, and who wrote Social Network.
Yeah.
He's a great writer, he doesn't leave a stone unturned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and who was the one? I mean, they even had David Fincher.
David Fincher directed the first two, produced two other ones, and then
Joel Schumacher actually directed one.
Yep, he did. Yeah,
our favorite Batman director.
Oh yeah, nipples galore.
Thanks a lot. So I mean,
maybe that was episode 8. Maybe he directed episode 8.
Yeah, no,
the gay episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Alleged, insinuated.
Yeah.
Well, strongly insinuated.
But anyway, yeah, I loved it. I cannot wait for the second season.
Yeah, I agree.
It's gonna be awesome.
I agree.
All right. Thanks for sitting down.
Yeah,
again, episode 5, Ruiners. YouTube, thanks for watching. Hey, subscribe to our YouTube page. Tell your friends about it. If they're into the House of Cards, they're into all these shows. Send us a comment. Tell us to review a show or a movie, and we'll get it. We'll get it out there to you guys.
Yep.
Check out the Digital Cast episode 31. It's going to be up this week. We got a special guest, Des Nelson, who is a U.S. Army chaplain. So check that out. We're going to grill him. We're going to make him give us some government secrets, probably.
Oh, I like it.
All right. So for Eric, I'm Rob, and until next time, ruin someone's life. Cool.
All right.
That was good.
Love it.
That was good.
Love it.
That was good.
Love it.